I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and I always say that no disrespect him, but sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford.
It started hitting me like, oh, all right, man, maybe he on to something. And then I started sizing him up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7", my arm's longer.
Yeah.
He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
It'd be, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
Because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So,
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford got into a heated live interview ahead of their upcoming fight on September 12th. Tensions have been rising between the two ever since the bout was officially announced, and their face-off made it clear there's no love lost. Although they exchanged sly smiles, the mood quickly turned serious as they locked eyes. The interview took place on a popular YouTube boxing channel, which brought them together on a call to build hype for the match. During the call, Terence Crawford was asked whether he felt confident about securing a victory.
Great show, you know what I mean?
Do you think Crawford will employ the same tactics?
I hope not. I hope not, because the people deserve a good fight.
What do you make for the Crawford fight next?
Huh?
How excited are you for the Crawford fight?
I'm excited. I want to enjoy this win and then... Yeah.
The former undisputed welterweight champion from Omaha, Nebraska, spoke with confidence and certainty as he predicted a win for himself. "I'm definitely going to beat him," he said. "He knows it. I've always said this about the guys who fight him. They're scared. But I'm coming in to do my job and walk away with the victory. He's a great fighter, and I respect that, but he's never faced anything like what I'm bringing to the ring. I've got the mentality to win, and I will. He might be bigger, but he's not better."
It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently. And it'd be a well-fought fight for both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody.
Crawford's comments were more than just confident talk. They clearly struck a nerve with Canelo Alvarez, who didn't take them lightly. Before the interviewer could even respond, Canelo cut in, shutting down Crawford's claims. "Why would you say you're better than me? Who have you fought? What does your record look like? What have you accomplished that I haven't? You're not better than GGG or any of the fighters I've already beaten," Canelo fired back.
Fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit.
Canelo Alvarez took a jab at Terence Crawford by referencing Jermell Charlo, whom he defeated after Charlo moved up in weight to face him. "You're not going to do anything different from what Charlo did, and I'll deal with you the same way," Canelo said. "I'll teach you what real boxing is and remind you why weight classes exist. My hands will be the last ones to send you into retirement." With that, he abruptly ended the call. This exchange marked a stark shift from their previous interactions, which had been characterized by mutual respect and admiration. Now, with the fight officially set, tensions between them have clearly escalated.
It's Crawford. But you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So it's possible. Why not? It's possible.
Other than the size difference and having to put on some weight, what challenges does Canelo pose once you guys get in there?
I don't know. I just think, his punching power and his physical size is the only thing that I really have to worry about. But who knows? Once we get in the ring, we don't know how I'll handle his punching power, his size. I've been fighting bigger guys.
The exchange sparked major buzz among boxing fans who are eagerly anticipating the showdown between these two future Hall of Famers. One fan even commented, "I can't wait for this match. It finally feels like boxing is rewarding us after months of watching garbage." The bout between Terence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez, set for September 12th in Las Vegas, is shaping up to be one of the defining clashes of modern boxing, with both fighters entering the ring as undisputed champions in their respective weight classes.
Well, great performance tonight.
Oh, I feel great. I win.
Guys,
I come to put a great show, but to put a great show, you need both fighters. So, but at the end of the day, win is a win.
are you frustrated with Williams?
Yeah, a little bit, but
What did you say to him at the end of the fight?
I say to
Canelo currently reigns as the super middleweight champion, while Crawford holds his titles in the welterweight division. Though the American will be moving up 2 weight classes to take on the Mexican star, it's a move he's making after thoroughly studying his opponent. Crawford paid close attention to Canelo's recent unanimous decision win over Cuban fighter William Skull in Saudi Arabia, analyzing every detail. "I don't think Canelo has declined," Crawford told Fight Hub TV, attributing the fight's competitiveness more to Skull's strategic style. He highlighted Skull's defensive, mobile approach as a smart way to limit Canelo's usual dominance. Over 12 rounds in Riyadh, Skull avoided toe-to-toe exchanges and relied on constant movement, a tactic that noticeably reduced Alvarez's offensive output.
you just come to you can not win a fight like that, fighting like that, and he say, "I'm sorry, it's my first time, and I just tried to put a good fight, and I'm so sorry."
What's your message to fighters who will fight you in the future? Obviously not Crawford, but with that kind of mindset, they just want to last the distance.
That's a mediocre mind. That's a mediocre mind because they come just to survive, to go to the 12th round. That's a mediocre mind. You need to put a good fight there.
Well, I've been wanting to fight, I feel as if that's a legacy fight. I feel as if, this is the biggest fight in boxing today. I feel like this fight right here is like the last of the Mohicans. We both come in an era where Floyd Mayweather was #1 pound for pound, Showtime, and HBO era, that type of era. So I think this...
Out of the 152 punches Canelo threw, only 56 landed, and while 40 of those were body shots, a knockout never seemed likely. Skull moved a lot and did a good job neutralizing Canelo's power punches, Crawford noted, though he also expressed disappointment that the Cuban couldn't maintain that pace throughout the fight. "He was boxing well and then he stopped," Crawford added. Looking ahead, Crawford has hinted that his own strategy won't be based on chasing a knockout. Instead, he plans to outmaneuver Canelo using tactical intelligence, speed, and relentless movement. His ability to switch stances, adapt to various styles, and disrupt his opponents makes him a formidable challenge.
Every time I see him, he'll come and be like, "Canelo." You know how Billy do it too, Every time, I'll be like, "Man, come on, man." Yeah. So every time he say that, I'll just be like gradually getting into looking at okay. And he's not that big. He heavy, but he's not that big.
Right.
And I'm just like, all right. I'm laughing, but at the same time, it started.
The American appears confident that with discipline, lateral movement, and an active defense, he can neutralize Canelo's power. Following Canelo's fight in Saudi Arabia, Crawford entered the ring for their first face-to-face encounter, officially kicking off the promotion for their upcoming bout. The moment not only fueled fan excitement, but also signaled that Crawford is preparing with strategy, not just strength. "I'm seeing the holes in his game, and I know how to attack him," said his trainer Brian Bomac McIntyre, confirming that their game plan is already in motion. While Canelo remains the favorite with odds makers, Crawford is far from an ordinary opponent.
I feel sorry for him. But it's boxing. It's boxing. You know,
All right, guys.
it's coming.
Did you watch the fight?
Yeah, of course. I win the fight.
It was a good damn.
Yeah.
Would you rather see him fight Gus Haney again or Rowley again?
The American already holds undisputed titles in 2 different weight divisions, an achievement few fighters in boxing history can claim. And now he's aiming for a 3rd, this time against one of the sport's biggest stars. This fight is about more than just victory. It's about cementing a legacy. In an interview with Sway's Universe, Canelo Alvarez shared his perspective on the matchup. "I'm in. Why not? Don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. Easy money," he said. "If the money's right, I'm in, because I don't like fighting guys like Crawford. He moves a lot, and that kind of fight isn't that exciting. I saw his last fight, and he doesn't move as much now. So if the money's right, I'm in." There are weight classes for a reason, Canelo added.
Cuando vine a pelear a Madison y voy a volver a venir.
Canelo, I'm sure you saw the fight with Crawford and Madrimov, and you heard Turkey Ali Sheikh say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford. They're coming with you. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. Look,
In stance, as he had previously been hesitant to face Crawford, citing the lack of recognition he'd get for beating a smaller opponent. On the other hand, Crawford has been determined to make the fight happen, even agreeing to move up 2 weight classes to showcase his dominance. He's well aware of the physical disadvantage he'll face against Canelo and acknowledges that size will be a key factor in the bout. Still, Crawford remains confident in his ability to overcome that challenge and impose his boxing style. Some analysts, however, are skeptical about his chances at super middleweight, pointing to his recent points win over Israel Madrimov at super welterweight, a performance that didn't quite deliver the dominance many had anticipated.
For boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like that. They knew Bud was gonna be. It's real simple. You just gotta know boxing in order for you to be able to say it.
Coach, I know
Fight would be massive.
And you mentioned Floyd. Obviously, Floyd and Manny, a lot of people thought happened way after it should have happened. You guys are both in your prime right now. You guys are both 2 of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in boxing. This is the biggest fight in boxing right now.
Definitely, and that's what I've been saying. You know, you got two guys, top 3, pound for pound.
Despite these concerns, the potential matchup between Canelo and Crawford has captured the imagination of boxing fans. The combination of power, speed, technique, and charisma from both fighters sets the stage for what could be a truly unforgettable spectacle. While some view the press conference as a significant step toward making the fight a reality, it still seems to be little more than a dream for now. You may recall that last year, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh was also advocating for the fight during Crawford's bout with Israel Madrimov. The Saudi royal even asked Hearn to contact Canelo's team to try and make it happen. However, the fight never materialized, and the buzz around it has gradually faded.
Overseas, Canelo versus Crawford negotiations, so-called behind the scenes. I want to talk about, 1, is Crawford ready for that fight? 2, how do you see that fight playing out? And 3, is this a reality?
I'll be honest, I'd be very surprised if that fight happens. I think His Excellency has been pushing that fight. It didn't seem like it was something that Canelo was really up for, to be honest. When I've spoken to Canelo before about that fight.
Despite the widespread belief among boxing professionals that Crawford is at a disadvantage due to the weight class, one person who disagrees is 2-weight world champion and boxing analyst Tim Bradley. On his YouTube channel, Bradley shared that after studying both fighters, he now sees Crawford coming out with a dominant victory. A 3-time world champion who once took a belt from Manny Pacquiao, Bradley predicts that Crawford will beat Canelo Alvarez, despite being the smaller man, citing the fact that Canelo hasn't scored a knockout since 2021. The two have been expected to face off since the end of 2024, but so far nothing has been finalized. Still, there's plenty of excitement surrounding the potential matchup between the unified super middleweight champion and the light middleweight title holder.